For a long time, you have been misled. Perhaps the roots of this deception trace back to childhood when certain truths were instilled in your young mind. You were relentlessly told that life rewards only those who show kindness, compassion, and unwavering honesty. It was claimed that effort would inevitably lead to success, and that showing mercy would guarantee universal love and acceptance. You were convinced that justice is an immutable law of the universe, and with enough patience all difficulties would simply resolve themselves. But then, harsh reality struck like a deafening blow. You opened your heart wide, only to have it shattered. You showed unwavering loyalty, only to be ruthlessly exploited. You dared to speak the truth, and for that, you were shunned. You worked to the point of exhaustion, giving your all, yet even that was not enough to achieve what you desired. It is in such moments that burning anger, corrosive doubt, and profound confusion begin to fester in the soul. Agonizing questions echo in your consciousness. Why is this happening? Why me? What did I do to deserve this? This is where the true trap lies, one that ensnares anyone seeking answers, the victim mindset. It does not appear suddenly, like a thunderclap in a clear sky. No, it operates more subtly, seeping into the consciousness with a barely perceptible whisper. It tells you to give up, to hide from the world. It convinces you that you are cursed, doomed to fail, that your fate is sealed. This mindset tempts you with the sweet poison of self-pity, feeding you false comfort. It embraces you like an old friend and soothes you. It is not your fault. And perhaps it isn't. But no matter what happens, the responsibility for your life always rests with you. The truth that many prefer to ignore is this: you may not choose the fire you are thrown into, but you undoubtedly decide how to act within its flames. You are free to either fall under its pressure or rise above the circumstances. You can choose the path of the victim, constantly lamenting your fate, or you can embrace the persona of a valiant warrior, meeting challenges head-on. But you cannot be both. The philosophy of Stoicism is by no means intended for those who seek only a serene existence or strive for a constant sense of well-being. It is for those who cherish the ambition to achieve true greatness of spirit and character. The essence of this ancient wisdom lies not in the dispassionate suppression of emotions, but rather in their skillful and conscious management. It is not a call to naively deny the world's imperfections or to pretend that all is well. On the contrary, it is a demand to gaze courageously at harsh reality and, despite everything, to move steadily forward. History has preserved examples of outstanding individuals who affirm these words. Epictetus was born into slavery, knowing humiliation and deprivation from an early age. Seneca, a prominent philosopher and statesman, was unjustly exiled, enduring banishment and the loss of his position. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of a great empire, ruled while courageously bearing personal tragedy, burying his children one by one. These men were not delicate souls, shielded from hardship. On the contrary, they were men whose lives were marked by pain, suffering, and incredible resilience. Nevertheless, they never once retreated in the face of adversity. They held no illusions that life would suddenly become easier or grant them peace. Instead, they deliberately forged inner peace and harmony in the very epicenter of external chaos. From the depths of their own silence and self-control, they drew and created genuine strength. They did not merely discuss resilience, they embodied it in their daily lives. This is what must be conveyed to everyone. Stop expecting life to show mercy. Stop pleading for justice and abandon the hope that someone will notice your pain and come to your aid. No one is coming, and in this realization lies your true freedom. Because once you understand and accept this truth, the conditions of your existence will be radically transformed. From now on, what matters is not what happens to you, but who you become because of it. Thus, pain transforms into a wise mentor. Rejection becomes a tool for self. Improvement, loneliness, turns into a sanctuary for self. Discovery and strict discipline serves as an unbreakable shield. Ask yourself, and the honest answer will reveal much. How would your life change if you stopped trying to be understood by others and instead focused your efforts on achieving inner fortitude? What if, instead of the rhetorical, "Why me?" you began to ask the constructive question, "What now?" What if every failure you faced served as a source of energy, every insult as material to strengthen your spirit, and every loss as a valuable life lesson? This is the essence of the transition from the passive role of a victim to the active stance of a warrior. The victim expects the world to change to make them comfortable. The warrior, in contrast, transforms himself, striving to make external circumstances lose their power over him. The primary battlefield for this profound transformation is the human mind. As Marcus Aurelius stated, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This eloquently demonstrates that the root of the problem lies not in the pain or the obstacle itself, but in your reaction to it. If you yearn for true strength, you must begin your journey in the midst of the storm. If you seek peace, you must find it precisely when the world around you is engulfed in the flames of trials. And if your goal is power, it must be earned in silence, in those moments when no one is watching, when no one believes in your abilities, and when all circumstances persistently push you to surrender. This is the key difference between the superficial coolness and true stoicism. Those who are considered cool can only pretend, imitating inner strength. True Stoics, in contrast, are forged in the crucible of discomfort. It is in these harsh conditions that their true character is formed and their spirit is trained. Their path does not require external approval, thunderous applause, or anyone's permission. They are immune to the search for external rewards, for their motivation comes from within. Their existence is defined by firm principles, and their every step is dictated by unwavering discipline. Unlike many, they remain unshakable in the face of the fiercest storms, the very ones that can crush and turn others to dust. While the person who has adopted the role of a victim laments, "This shouldn't have happened," the warrior, in contrast, accepts reality, stating, "This is happening. Very well, we move forward." Such a way of thinking is extremely rare and, in essence, becomes a challenge to those around you. When you stop complaining about circumstances, others lose their usual point of connection. When you stop explaining your motives, the ground for manipulation disappears. And when you no longer need external validation, others lose all control over you. However, do not let the discomfort of others trouble you. Your purpose is not to fit in or please others. You are here to continuously evolve and improve. And this relentless evolution inevitably requires the acceptance of suffering. If you seek growth, you must be prepared to face pain. If you yearn for true respect, you will have to embrace the path of solitude. And if inner peace is your goal, you must boldly confront your inner demons. For one does not become a true warrior by merely turning the pages of a book. A warrior is forged in the crucible of self-discovery, facing their inner darkness and refusing to be defeated. He does not speak of motivation. He does not speak of fleeting hype. He speaks only of discipline. This means waking at dawn, despite the body's desperate pleas to remain in the embrace of sleep. It means continuing to train when the mind insists that enough is enough. It means resolutely denying oneself momentary pleasures, knowing that something far greater is being built. It is a conscious departure from familiar comfort, for it is in its depths that people essentially die, a slow, humiliating death in seemingly peaceful times. The world wants you to remain malleable. It wants to see you as overly emotional, impulsively reactive, dependent on circumstances, and easily led by others' opinions. Such an individual becomes a convenient object for manipulation and control. However, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism preaches otherwise. Be dangerous, not in the sense of cruelty, but in the sense of inner strength and unpredictability to those who try to control you. A person who can remain unperturbed and not succumb to immediate reactions poses a serious threat to external influence. A person who can be insulted yet remain completely calm possesses true power. The one who lives by their own unwavering code, not by the whims of fleeting emotions, is truly invincible. Therefore, if you feel a deep exhaustion with your own weakness, that is, in fact, excellent. If you are tired of constantly begging for approval or love, that is also wonderful. If you are worn out from being systematically overlooked, disrespected, or ignored, that is magnificent. For it is this profound fatigue, this sense of being worn down, that is the very inner fire capable of igniting transformation. And fire, as we know, is an element that can forge something entirely new from the ordinary. If you want to be someone who is deeply missed after they are gone, you must stop chasing. If you wish to be someone who cannot be broken by another's will, you must gain complete mastery over your own emotions. To become truly unforgettable, you must live with such inner power, composure, and focus that your very presence has an effect comparable to a force of nature, leaving an indelible impression. At the same time, it is crucial to emphasize that such a state does not imply becoming heartless. No, that is not true Stoicism. True Stoicism is not synonymous with coldness or emotional detachment. It is expressed in deep tranquility, unwavering stability, and absolute focus. Such a person can still feel deeply, love sincerely, and experience pain, but all of these are done from a position of conscious choice, not as a result of weakness or uncontrolled impulses. It is also important to note that true strength is rarely demonstrative or showy. Real power is found in the man who has no need to prove anything to others. It is embodied in the woman who can walk away decisively from anything that no longer serves her interests or brings her value. Strength is found in the discipline to endure suffering without a single complaint, to make sacrifices without expecting applause, and to show up and work hard every day, even when there is no internal desire to do so. This is because true warriors do not require external incentives or constant motivation. They have high internal standards. They are guided by values that remain steadfast and do not bend under any pressure. If you aspire to achieve a true transformation and become the person you wish to be, you must decisively abandon the former version of yourself. This means symbolically destroying the part of your identity that passively waits for rescue from the outside, that relentlessly craves approval and external validation of its worth. It also implies rejecting the side that merely calls for justice, instead of actively embodying it in its actions and worldview. It is crucial to put an end to the part that constantly shifts responsibility for its failures and circumstances onto past events, such as childhood, a former partner, psychological trauma, a boss, or even genetic predispositions. This outdated identity must be burned to the ground so that a completely new, renewed essence can rise from its ashes. Often, a person does not realize the full spectrum of their hidden capabilities and potential until their internal rejection of endless self, justifications, and excuses reaches a critical, almost physiological point. It is vital to understand that confidence is not handed to anyone as a gift, and no one will present discipline on a silver platter. No one will place you on a pedestal and crown you as strong. These fundamental qualities, confidence, discipline, and inner strength, must be built by you. It is a process of relentless, painstaking work, carried out day by day, hour by hour, in every single unique moment of existence.